Hey, Loco sports fans. Monday nights coming at you live. Justin Jarrett, Marcus Walsh, and Jeremy Orr to start things off. We had a couple friends are running a little tardy, so we'll shame them when they get here. Max should be along shortly. Wes maybe a little bit after that. And then we got a friend stopping by too. In addition to Jo, we got another USCB hoops fan and sort of staff member, manager in the house tonight. Trip Richards. I always want to call him Trip Roberts. I think I knew a Trip Roberts. Trip Richards going to join us again to talk USCB hoops and a little bit of a role reversal. The women sitting at 2-0 in the Peach, the men at 0-2. So we'll
Wow.
get into the behind the scenes on that, which includes a close loss to Aiken and then illness racked blowout loss to Lander on
Mm.
Saturday. But the women, two comeback wins to start Peach Belt play, which is tremendous. And the Sand Sharks will be back home tomorrow night in the Cove, or Wednesday night in the Cove against Augusta. So we'll let Trip get us up to speed on that. We'll also talk a little high school hoops. We've had some high profile early season matchups. And I know, Marcus, you've been in the gyms a little bit. And
Just a
I got to
smidge.
talk. I got to talk hoops with Robbie B and Fish last night on the Loco Hoops happy hour. So I got caught up on what I've been missing. We'll also talk a little high school wrestling. But first, we had a we had a state championship game on Saturday, and sadly, it just kind of didn't go Hampton's way from the jump. I mean, the first drive they had, they were moving the ball. Jalen broke one for a touchdown. It came back on a holding penalty that was definitely, I mean, you can call it, I guess, but you can also not call it type deal. And it felt like a snowball from there. They turned the ball over on that possession. Strom got a big return and punched it in, and they were just playing behind the eight ball and just couldn't seem to really get in much of a rhythm. On offense, that Strom defense was outstanding, but it was just the little things just did not seem to line up for them on Saturday, and they ended up on the wrong end of a 26-7 game. Props to Strom Thurmond. They were the better team that day. It just didn't feel like we got the best version of Hampton on Saturday, and that was a bummer because I feel like the best version of
Yeah.
Hampton could have won that game. But that's the way it goes sometimes. It was a tremendous season. Obviously, the progress they've made in those first 3 years as Hampton County has been tremendous, and the future is very bright. Although we'll kind of see where they end up in the realignment situation. But thoughts, and Max was there, so thankfully he has joined us now. Max, we were just kind of setting the stage for talking about Hampton, and just felt like they didn't have their best stuff. They didn't put their best foot forward. Didn't play their best game. But Strom was a formidable team and was the better team on Saturday. But it just seemed like they couldn't quite get their foot in the ground. That first series, they got the touchdown run called back, and then they had the turnover, and they just kind of uncharacteristic, I guess I would say, on Saturday.
Yeah, it was, but I think in my mind, I think they did put their best foot forward. I just think that Strom Thurmond team was just a whole nother unit, just a monster, well-oiled machine. I think it was the first time they faced a defense that could, outside of Hilton Head, I guess, that could really stop Jalen Singletary in his tracks. And look, I said it on my show yesterday. Jalen Singletary was fighting for every yard he could get.
Yeah.
It just wasn't enough. And so, I said on the show, you looked at Hampton County, they go into the second half and, what do? Start trying to go to a passing game that just has not been used at all the entire season, and led to Terrell Grant throwing 3 picks in that second half. And I think that was just the nail in the coffin for them, is because, apart from the run game, they really haven't had to use the passing game
Right.
at all this season. And I think that was my biggest worry going into this game, was if they have to use the passing game, I don't see a way of them winning this
Yeah,
game.
but on the other hand, he was 7 for 8 with a couple touchdowns the week before against Central. So like it had been effective when they had needed it, but I guess maybe
But I
Strom
don't think
threw some different looks at him or
I
something.
think outside of Hilton Head secondary, I don't think they had seen a secondary
Right.
like Strom Thurmond. And that secondary for Strom
just
Thurmond with
wasn't there.
Simpkins, number 7, Simpkins, dude's a beast. He's going D1 somewhere for football. I know that. He's been getting offers. So I knew, the other thing I would say is defensively, I don't think it was their best game. I think offense put their best foot forward. I don't think the defense did. I think for me that, they were able to stop the run at times, but it was the passing from Strom Thurmond. They have a quarterback who can throw the football and throw it really well, very accurate quarterback. And they have a couple receivers that are big, strong, and fast, and kind of outran at times the secondary, including Terrell Grant. I mean, some of these receivers were out running Terrell Grant, and we know how fast Terrell Grant can be. So, I mean, that is some speed that they had on the outside. And then, once the passing game was working, they started running the football, wearing the defensive front down. So then it just became a whole mess in the second half. And I think, as a whole, Hampton put their best foot forward, but I just think this Strom Thurmond team was much more than I think we all expected them to be. And I think, that Fairfield Central game, I knew it was close and I knew it was low scoring, but I just had a feeling because that Fairfield Central team had been pretty solid all season long. And I just had a weird feeling is if that's a close game, what is Hampton County going to be able to do going into Saturday? And I think that first drive, Jalen Singletary broke out for a run, got a touchdown that was called back on a penalty. And I just knew after that drive, I was thinking to myself, it may not be their day,
I was the same way, man. It felt eerie just the way that drive unfolded just felt eerie. It felt like, oh man, it's not their day. It's not their day.
And I think for me, because I think they threw more passes than I have seen them throw at of any game this year. In my opinion, I think they threw more often than not, which is something I have not said a lot this season at all about this Hampton County team because they really haven't needed to throw the football. They just hand it off to Jalen Singletary, let him do his thing, or you let Terrell Grant do his thing with his feet. The one thing I said on my show yesterday, I said, boy, could you imagine if we had a real solid passing game with this Hampton County team to go alongside the run game? Could open up a whole new dimension for the offense. And I thought Terrell Grant has an arm. He can throw the football. I've seen him throw the football before, and the dude can throw. And he's got receivers that are able to catch the football. By the way, the one touchdown, one score they had, that was a pass. That was a touchdown pass. That was the only way they got into the end zone was off a pass.
Great catch by Dez too.
Oh, fantastic! I got a great video of it. I'll send it to you at some point this week once I figure out what's going on with my Dropbox. It's not wanting to work with me.
If I can interject, I have a point of clarification to make with what you just said, Max, because the way I heard it, and it's been kind of a long day for me, but the way I heard it kind of confused me. Were you saying that you thought Hampton threw it the most that they've thrown it all year?
Yeah, I was trying to look that
up. Or did you say that in your opinion they threw it the most that they've thrown it all year from what you've seen? Obviously, you were with me a lot this football season.
So you didn't other games a lot.
From what I've seen this year, and I've seen, I haven't been able to see Hampton County as much, but I've watched, film from most of their games.
I'm trying to figure out how many times they threw it.
The thing for me, Marcus, is while they do pass the football, they don't pass it like Hilton Head Christian does, or Hilton Head or Bluffton. Like, they pass the football. They're one of those teams where they can be a pass-first offense. Hampton County's never really been a pass-first offense. It's just a run-first. And if you need
almost like a Buford.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you're talking about.
In my opinion, it's almost kind of like it's a little bit more so, but kind of like May River.
I was going to say them too, yeah.
Where they run the football first every time, but every now and then they can throw a pass. And I think for me, the difference between those two teams is, Hampton County actually has a quarterback who can throw the football and throw it well. That's the difference between Hampton County and May River in that kind of term. I think for me, I had not, because I watched them play Central. I've seen some film from them throughout the playoffs during the regular season, especially in region play, where they really didn't have to throw the football at all. And they would throw it every now and then, but it was never
I got
It
you.
was never where they threw it because they had to, because the running game wasn't working. This was the first time I saw them this season where they had to use the pass game because the run game just was not working and wasn't getting them first downs.
Yep.
I think that was the biggest issue. So where they started
But dude,
having
they
to
only
use
they only threw 7 passes, bro.
Wow.
really, God, it feels
Yeah.
so much more than that.
Yeah, so
It
they
felt
threw more
so much
passes
more.
last week. No, they
That's
had
interesting.
Jalen
It
had
really
30
felt,
rushes for 150. They just
Ooh.
kept him out of the end zone. They just
yeah.
it was a bend but don't
Oh,
break effort
that,
from
and you
Strom.
kept
But
them out. You kept them out of your own territory at times. Like
yeah,
they
yeah,
weren't even getting close to the red zone. I mean, the one time they got to the red zone in the first half was on the kickoff return that got them a score at the end of the half. That was the one time I saw them where they were actually pressuring Strom Thurmond into the red zone. Other than that, I mean, Strom Thurmond's defense kept them out of not only the red zone but also their own territory.
yeah,
And just kept them in where they needed to.
yeah.
And it
No,
was
they did
really
a
just
good job.
they did a really good job of it. And it was just, I just knew from that first drive, I just thought, like I said, I didn't know if it was going to be Hampton's day. And
Right.
I just didn't, and it kind of showed the rest of the game. And it's interesting because I just felt like they threw the ball way more, but I guess not.
Well,
I
it seems
honestly,
like they just got him into a lot of third and uncomfortable situations.
yeah, and that was the biggest issue. I mean, you would run for the first 2 downs, give it to Jalen Singletary, see what he does. And unfortunately, just it wasn't working. And as much
Yeah.
as Jalen was trying to do whatever he could, they were always there, right in
And
front of his
he
face.
averaged 5 a carry and ended up with 150, which
It's
if
not
you
bad,
just
but
we would have thought that probably would have been enough, but you would have expected 2 or 3 touchdowns in there, and they
Yep.
just didn't give up the big one, and they feast on the big one.
oh,
So
they gave up one big one, and it was called
they
back
got
on a
called back.
penalty on
Yeah.
that first drive.
Well,
But
and
other than
and
that, I mean, they
honestly,
really shut him down.
that the reason I felt so weird in that moment was because it just felt like that completely changed the trajectory of the game
Oh,
script, everything. Because if
I also
Hampton
want
goes
to
down
say,
there and scores, and then we got a different kind of football game, but instead they cough it up. Strom flips the field and punches it in, and it just put them in a negative game script when they could have been in the game
yeah,
script that they
and
need to be in.
I also want to say I don't like calling anyone out in this kind of matter, but there were times when I felt like the refs weren't even on Hampton County's side either.
You
Um,
ain't kidding. That's
they
what I'm
had,
getting at. There
I'm
were a
sure you guys
couple.
watched it, but that horse collar tackle that was not called on Jalen Singletary, I stood right in front of it as it happened, and they didn't call it. Instead, they called a holding on Hampton County, and I just
Yeah.
thought, wouldn't you call both
Yeah.
penalties there? But they didn't even
Yeah.
throw the flag for that penalty.
Wow.
The very next play, which you may not have been able to see on the stream, was the very next play on 4th down. I'm trying to think. It was a sweep. It was a jet sweep to the receiver.
Oh, Sab. And
Yes,
and they
and
got it. They
face
tracked him
mask.
down. Yeah.
They face masked him, dragged him down. Ref standing right in front of it and didn't call it. And I just thought,
Yeah.
what are
There was
these
some of
refs
that.
looking at? This is a state
Yeah.
championship game, and this is the best you can do. This is
Yeah.
unacceptable. And I have a feeling, a lot of the Hampton County fans were standing right there too, and right in
Yeah.
the stands and seeing everything
Oh,
as
yeah.
it happened. And I don't want to hate on the refs or anything because they are taking time out of their day to be there for those
getting paid.
events, and I don't want to hate on them, but
They're getting paid.
they're getting paid. But I just wonder,
Yeah, it's
how is
unfortunate.
it? How?
It happens. It happens.
It
It's part of the
happens.
game. If they were better, they'd be doing it at a higher level. I mean, just like
Right.
if we were
But
better,
you would
we'd be
think
doing it
this
at a
would
higher
be
level.
the best South Carolina high school league would
Yeah.
have to offer for
Yeah,
the.
but we got a crisis out there. I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's not
Oh,
enough
I know.
qualified officials, especially those who can get up and down the
I know.
field and
Trust me,
have the quick
I
reaction times required and all that. So
myself and the rest of our Beaufort County crew are having our struggles trying to find enough refs for basketball this season.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And
just what it is.
that is
trying to
why
get certified.
you've got folks at the NFHS and a bunch of other folks
Yep.
that keep on,
Yes.
getting
Preaching
their
to the
message
choir,
out
Marcus. Preaching
and
to
just
the choir.
saying,
Yep.
we need you. That's why I hit it so hard with what we do with football and basketball.
Yep.
Certainly, Larry Jacquemot's a big proponent of it. Kevin Libby's a big proponent of it. Having
Yep.
been there and done it, I am. It's needed, folks. Come on, get out there.
Yep.
It is needed.
Yep, it is needed. All right, Wes, welcome. We're starting to wind down our talk about Hampton, but I know you were
Yep.
tuned into the game, so I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Saw, you look back at the start of the game, you had a good drive going, you fumble it.
Yep.
I said it before the game, I said it a couple of times. These two teams were so evenly matched that you're only going to see a couple of plays decided. And when you come up with a big turnover like that, that Strom Thurmond was able to cash in on, that can be tough to overcome. And, give credit to how the Rebels played and how they're able to, control a very potent Hampton County offense and force some mistakes. But it's tough to see it happen that way. I thought they had a solid chance if they were able to put together some solid signs to start this game. Unfortunately, when you lose a big opportunity or a couple opportunities early on, I remember there's a one Singletary run that was called back on a penalty, I believe like a legal block or something.
Yeah.
Those are brutal, and it hurts, especially for a team that felt like everything was coming together. This was the big time swan song for Singletary. Probably Dobson can make a case too, the most potent offensive player the last few years there, but
yeah,
just unable to put it together, and it hurts for that program. But first time Hampton County as a whole, getting back to that state championship game, they're building a great program there. But this one's going to stink for them because they certainly had an opportunity. If they just execute a little bit cleaner early in that game, they were able to find a way to at least make it interesting in the second half. But when you're down from playing from behind against a strong Thurmond team that came in, they've got a good defensive core, and they were able to shut down this Hampton County offense enough. So tough way to end what has been a really fun football season to cover. Great year for Hilton Head, of course, getting to that third round, almost the lower state final. Great year for Hampton County as well. It's exciting to see that program really develop into a perennial contender, and even it's going to be certainly a lot to replace. You can't replace Jalen Singletary; he's one of a kind. But they're going to find ways to put in the pieces the best of their ability if they're going to be competitive next year. But I think Hampton County, with the way that program has been continued to be built, I think they'll be in the mix. Especially, I think they'll be competing for the top of that region next year. I think Hilton Head is going to be the big storyline heading into next year. Can Hilton Head build off what they did last year? In terms of Bluffton, what's next for them after a couple of disappointing seasons in a row with the Hayden Gregory program? They find a way to get over that playoff hump, and they continue to put together some strong regular seasons and continue into the playoffs. And there's a lot to build off on that program as well. Even with the season not ending as well as they were hoping for it to do so. But I think Hilton Head right now has shown that they're the class in the area. I think the Hampton County program certainly well respected across the state. Rob Hanna's done a fantastic job with how that program is. We talked about the accountability and the strides they took on the off season to get them ready to make the script different than last year. And I thought that despite losing in that last game, they've proved that this program is they're going to be in the mix every year, at a minimum, if not competing deep into the playoffs in these next coming years. But it hurts to go down to South Carolina State twice and to see both of our teams come up on the losing end.
Yeah. Anything to add to that,
Sure.
Jeremy, or native Hamptonian?
Not much. I mean, they pretty much tackled all of it. I will say I was surprised at how the hopes were very high despite a 19-point loss. I watched a couple of the players going live after the game, and I think they're trying their best to cope. Although you made it this far and still trying to be proud of yourselves for having a historic season nonetheless.
Yeah.
But they're really grounded with where they're at. So
Everybody's handling it well. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And I think it helps.
You know
that
what?
A lot of those guys were at basketball practice on Sunday.
Right. I was just about to say. I mean, you're right back at it. New season, and you build on football season sets the tone. You had a good year. It came up one game short of the ultimate goal, winning the championship, but you use that to build momentum toward basketball season. And this Hampton County team should be right in the mix again on the hoops on the
They're
court.
going to be really good.
Before to diving
really
in, should be
right, Jo? They're going to be really good.
I hope so. Because they were just give me on like some like inside scoop. Like they were very hopeful and confident that they would win 2 state championships, both in football and basketball. Yeah. So they're definitely gonna try to make some noise in basketball as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're looking good. I mean, they beat Ridgeland by 60 or whatever the other night with 7 guys, and one of them's an 8th grader. They got some dudes. I mean, think about it though. They got Solomon and Brooks. Neither one of them play football, so you got about as good a guard combo as you can find right there. Because Solomon can light it up from outside, and Brooks can score from anywhere, and he's a phenomenal defender. So they're going to be a lot of fun to watch this year. I look forward to that. All right, so we'll turn the page on football season with that. Great season by Hampton. I think Wes kind of summed up the whole season for us pretty well there. I'd throw in Colleton Prep as well. Shout out to them.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't touch on Skiza. I touched on that a few weeks ago after.
Right. So I was just going to tack that on there. Colleton Prep also with a great run.
Yeah.
Been a great football season.
A lot of great teams.
We've turned our sights toward the winter sports now. So before we go on, shout out to our primary sponsors, our all-star sponsors, Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, been with us since 2017, still supporting LowcoSports in every way. And hopefully you'll support them. They're our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. But they love all the teams in the Lowco, and they can help you with all your legal needs at Mickelson Law Firm. And WHHI TV, our partner in local sports. We're doing all kinds of things together these days, crossing over and combining forces to give you the best local sports coverage possible. LowcoSports and WHHI TV are all-star sponsors. So we now welcome in our resident USCB basketball expert, I suppose we'll call him, our reporter, our beat writer, Trip Richards, joining us now on the show. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? Expert. I mean, that feels good. That feels good.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Did you get on the road Saturday up to Lander? Or
I didn't get a chance to make on the road Saturday, but I was watching from home. We got to
I was too.
A lot of emotions. A lot of I felt a lot of things during the men's game. Women's game, love to see it. Men's game was a little
2-0. Women are 2-0. How about that?
Yeah, women 2-0 conference. Before we get started, I just want to give 2 shout outs to USCB athletics as a whole. I mean, indoor track and field team goes down to Birmingham, set 2 school records. Samuel Mitchell in the triple jump and Patton Casto in the shot put.
Yes.
So shout out those guys.
Wow.
Fantastic job.
Fantastic.
But back to college hoops. Going in Wednesday, the USCB Sand Sharks take on USC Aiken, and probably one of the chippiest basketball games I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
The final score was 72-64, but it was a lot closer than that. With USC Aiken leading most of the game, they led by 13 with 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and then from then they just kept dogging the Sand Sharks for about 3 quarters there before my new nickname for her, Cardiac Bowman. Tanaya Bowman goes out 28 with about 15 in the fourth quarter, 6 steals, plays the game of her life to lead the Sand Sharks back to an 8-point victory. I mean, anytime you're able to score 28 points, obviously good.
Doing something right.
Yeah.
Tanaya Bowman, player of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
No doubt.
Tanaya Bowman, player of the week. And we'll get to her second performance as well. But over the week, she had 45 points. I think it was 9 rebounds. Let me make sure I'm right there. No. 7 rebounds and then 8 steals or 9 steals. Great week for her.
Wow.
Also in that game, Lydia Gattosi with 20 points and 3 rebounds, and then Janiah Hayward with a double-double, 15 points, 10 rebounds. If you look at the sheets, obviously great game for the Sand Sharks, but the story's really in the second half. They shot 64% in the third quarter and 75% in the in the fourth quarter, and of course a lot of that going to Tanaya Bowman and her in and out ability. Just some big moments in that game that shifted the momentum. Of course, you had the and ones and the scoring of Tanaya Bowman, but even Madison Self late in the game has a big and one moment. She goes up for the layup, gets fouled, makes the layup, count it, gets the bucket on the free throw. Those are just the big moments that I saw during the game that allowed the Sand Sharks to claw and fight their way back in to get the victory. And overall, I think at the very beginning of the game, the Sand Sharks played their game slow, controlled, didn't rush anything, and then USC Aiken was just knocking down shots. Shooting 55% in the first is unheard of. So especially for the Aiken team this year, that is 1 in 5. You don't see that a lot, or was 1 in 4 at the time. You don't see that a lot with that team, their ability to shoot at high volumes and at high percentage. I think, and the Sand Sharks shut that down real quick with holding them to 32.3% of the game, 17% in the third, and then 26% in the fourth. They just weren't allowing them to get clean shots, and that was the big moment. I think that the intensity the Sand Sharks played with, they didn't want to lose to Aiken. There's some bad blood between these two schools and between these teams, the personnel, and it was definitely the chippiest game I've seen all season from honestly both teams. And I was lucky enough to speak to Coach Brady Grogan after the game, and I talked to him, and he gave me a little piece. He said we have the pieces, we have the people here that'll be bought into the program and that want to win and bring good to the Lowcountry.
Yep.
And that's all you need to hear, and that's all you saw against Lander with the 2-point victory. Might be closer on paper, but the Sand Sharks were able to play fundamental basketball. I mean, they just played really, really well. Another 17-point game from Tanaya Bowman. Again, can't say enough.
She was clutch down the stretch, man.
12 points in the fourth quarter that game. I mean, you get 12 or 17 points in the fourth quarter, she's tough to stop. Janiah Hayward with 14, and then Lydia Gattosi with another 10. Just another all-around good game for the Sand Sharks. Up and down, I think Coach Versip's conditioning this team to be where they want to be. Of course, I know she's probably wanting to see more offensive efficiency in the first half, but with numbers like 55% and 60% in the third and the fourth, and then also shooting 81% from the charity stripe,
yes.
I don't think there's much complaining right now. I think there's some tweaking, but I doubt she's really complaining with the results she's getting, because these are some quality teams the Sand Sharks are beating.
I think we'd be undefeated if we shot 80% every game, right?
I think we shot 80%. I think if we shot 80% from the free throw line in every game, we would. I think, yeah,
Like we would smoke.
We'd be undefeated.
I mean,
Otherwise, to beat us, Lenore Ryan, we would have smoked him.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. We'd be undefeated right now if we were able to do that.
There's been some times in the past this program where they have, I mean, the free throw shooting has just been inconsistent. So to have, be shooting at that level in a big game,
we need
that's very encouraging. So
a lot of it's getting the ball in the right hands to get the right person at the line.
That's a huge part of it.
That is definitely
huge
happening.
part of it.
I agree. If you look at it, I mean, they shot
tremendous.
They shot 27 free throws against Lander and then 23 against Aiken, and they just continue to shoot these high number of free throws. And anytime you're able to convert over 80% or over 75%, you're looking at the opportunity to win a big game. And I think a lot of that, I mean, just little stat, 9 for 11 was Tanaya Bowman's at the free throw line. 3 for 4 was Lydia Gattosi. 5 for 6 was Sammy Bardonaro. 2 for 2 was Carolina Correa. And then 1 for 2 was Madison Self. And then 2 for 2 was Bree Pilote. So you got these guys. And I think when you see a player like Tanaya Bowman, Janiah Hayward, Lydia Gattosi, Sammy, when you see these players make the shot, they see the ball go in, I think as a team, it lights up that energy.
Oh, yeah.
I think you get a lot of energy, and they're like, all right, my turn to get that bucket. My turn to make
that. Lydia hit a big open 3 to put them on top against Lander, and I saw the whole bench go nuts, and I saw Maddie Self stand up and strum the guitar.
That's what we need.
That was nice.
It's good to see that. It's good to see that. But, yeah, that was the women's side of things. I think, and I'm going to give you my strong prediction, I think that the women come in for their home opener, their home conference opener against Augusta, and I don't think Augusta right now is even close to prepared for what they're going to see. I think the Sand Sharks are going to pull another big game out. I think Tanaya Bowman's going to play her game. Janiah Hayward's going to be aggressive. Lydia Gattosi is going to shoot lights out. I have full faith that these Lady Sand Sharks are going to be able to get out early and stay ahead. I have full
Yeah.
faith that if they keep playing their game, they play defense, they shoot and take their shots early in the shot clock, that the Sand Sharks are going to beat Augusta on Wednesday.
All right. You heard it here first. And then, so what happened to the guys? Everybody got sick?
So on Wednesday, Nolan, who had been
Is
pushed
that
into the starting lineup for the 2 games
I got it.
before
Yeah. Okay.
the Aiken game, was nursing a shoulder injury. He had to get some help he had to get some work on done with that. So he's missing the game on Wednesday. You're down 1 starter, and then Dylan comes down with an illness after the first half. So you're down 2 starters.
Mm.
And the 73-74 game, I think there's no such thing as a moral victory in Coach Ron's program, but that also isn't a moral defeat. You lose to Aiken by 1, but you lose
right.
to Aiken.
As long as you beat them at home, it's fine.
I talking to a lot of the players after that, I would agree with you, but they're all about the narrative. The narrative right now is that USCB can only be Aiken at home, and Aiken can only be USCB at home. And they want to change that. Well, they want to be USCB beats the crap out of Aiken no matter where they are.
Everywhere.
Whether they're standing in the North Pole or they're
meet us
standing
any
in the
gym in the country.
they're going to win. and that's what I want to hear. I think talking to some of the players, and they were telling me, they were like, I think it's not going to matter. This 1-point loss that we had to Aiken, when they come to our place and we play our game and we show them how we can play, it's going to open up a lot of eyes to how good this Beaufort team is. But in that game, Dominic Eason with 19 points, Hudson Norton with 14, and Aiden Fitzgerald with 13. Just another good game from Dominic Eason, and then the trickle down. You didn't really get the performance you wanted from your 5, and then Hudson and Aiden trying to pick up some of that slack on the offensive side. Wasn't enough with the Sand Sharks falling 1 point short. But honestly, again, guys, comes down to the free throws. When Aiken's able to shoot 9 more free throws than the Sand Sharks and make 8 more, it's a little harder to win that game.
Yep.
Only shooting 57.1% from the line in that game, and that's just not going to win you those close 1 possession, 2 possession, 3 possession bowl games.
No.
Absolutely not. And then the one I'm sure everyone's dreading to hear about, the Saturday game against Lander. The Sand Sharks go into Lander and fall to a disgustingly high 29-point loss. But there's some interesting little tidbits of information I don't think people realize. Of course,
I heard like 7 people were sick.
Yeah, only having
9 players.
9 players suit up is not a recipe for success, especially
when you play 12.
Especially when you play 12 and you play the way that Coach Ron does, and when two of them are starters, and then you also have Hudson Norton.
Yeah, he was out too.
And then you have Ish, who's been having some big games recently. You got to see minutes from some faces we haven't seen much of this season with Israel Eatman, Jamaica Adair, and then Zach Cullen. So it was a learning game. It was a growing game for sure. Yeah. But it's
that's one you just got to flush. Yeah, you just got to flush
talk about the
one.
percentages.
Hey, Lander got their revenge. It's all good. Move on to the next game.
And honestly, I think Lander coming into that game remembers every bit of what happened last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll right hand up accountability. I don't remember if y'all remember this. I wrote "go home" on my chest. All right, I wrote "you suck" on my chest and "go home" on my back, and stood at the free throw line and let everyone see it. And I'm not a slim or built guy. I think they remembered that. And I'm sure they were thinking, where's the chunky guy from last year's playoff game? But I'll be
Tripp's responsible for that BTA on Saturday.
Can I just
right
say,
hand up accountability? I'll take that one. But we can talk about the numbers. We can talk about the stats. It was
Easton had a good game.
Just a tough game.
Yeah,
it was rough. It was rough. That's one you just go, hey boys, that one's over.
Easton and Price did their thing in that game, and it just wasn't enough. They just didn't get any help from the rest of the team, unfortunately.
They just didn't have enough, legs, enough bodies.
I think with Dominic Eason,
big one Wednesday.
He's I think with Dominic Eason and Kevon Price played a great game, 7 of 10, 19 points. Dominic Easton had 10 points, but I think talking to him and knowing how he is as a player, how mature he is as a scorer, he knows that his 3 of 11 from the field goal range isn't good enough to put the team in a position to win games. So although the points double digits, I think, and he has 7 rebounds, I think there's going to be a chip on the shoulder of the Sand Sharks coming out against Augusta on Wednesday. It's going to be a big game, guys, and I don't think and I hope people in the Low Country really understand that these Sand Sharks are special. I know right now it may not seem like it, 6-3, 0-2 in the conference, but they're special, man.
They are special.
You can talk about it, your record in December, but who cares? Because come March, it's going to be a special team, and you're going to want to be there being like, you know what? I was at that team's first home game, first conference home game. I watched them grow from December, whatever day it's going to be, December 10th.
10th on Wednesday.
To cutting the ropes in April, to cutting the ropes in March. So
that's you're going to want to go Wednesday. You're going to want to go Wednesday because it's the Ville comes to the Cove night. So we're going to have the March Shockwave in there. Doing the
can I just say though,
I might be a bit biased, but this is one of the best atmospheres in this conference. The way these fans
I think it is.
I'm not sure if the final's over yet for students or if they're going to make their way over there. But,
y'all are done, right?
We have
Dale's already home.
Week.
I got Tuesday and I got Thursday, and then I'm scot free.
Okay, so maybe a nice reprieve from finals. Head over to the Cove and watch the Sand Shark team because they're
procrastinate.
It's going to be a good game
for a little
bit.
It's
going to be a really
I
good
don't know
game.
how many professors are watching this, but if you're watching this, maybe offer some extra credit to those students.
There you go.
Get the
extra credit if you take off your shirt and write, something mean on your chest and back.
Yeah, you can totally do that. I think I'd pass every class.
You can definitely do that.
Because
we got dip coming, so you can troll to your heart's content.
Can I just say, for those of us who are watching the Aiken games on Wednesday, what exactly was the camera view?
And they kept flipping the plane on us. What is that? Flipping the plane in the middle of a play.
Hold on. Here's the worst part. They had a mid-court camera that they could have used, and they didn't use it. The only time they used it was during media timeouts.
But they would switch camera angles in the middle of a play, and they'd be driving to the right of your screen and then come into your left of your screen. What?
I swear, I got a migraine from just watching that game. I got a migraine from watching both games.
I was sitting.
This is something that I might say it for the Festivus because it's not particularly a Lowco gripe, but it's a complaint. So I'll say it for the Festivus show.
Okay, fair.
I've got a couple things.
I might have to.
You got to come to the second annual Lowco Festivus extravaganza or whatever we called it, where we air our grievances.
Air your grievances.
The problems we have with people. Yeah. Seinfeld style Festivus. Look
That's
it
what
up,
I'm talking about.
youngster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun
December
show.
23rd.
Going in, man.
Mark your calendars. December 23rd. Festivus.
December 23rd.
Airing our grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about them.
It depends what time we do that. So, but
we're doing it.
Yep.
We could go on for hours. People can pop in and out with their gripes, but what do you got for us, Trip? Send us off.
Back to the basketball. Let me give you my keys to victory and my bold predictions. I think Wednesday going against Augusta, there's a chip on the shoulder of the Sand Sharks. I'm not sure and I'm not necessarily at liberty to say about what the roster is going to look like or who's going to be back healthy. I don't have all the pieces. I don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
That's just not good reporting. But I will say, no matter who is on that court, whoever's on the bench, whoever suited up, they're not looking to go 0-3. They're not looking to have the storyline be the Sand Sharks playing in conference. It's not an option. It's not an option for Coach Ron, Coach Luke. It's not an option for Jeremy, me, or Cam, and anybody in the program. It's not an option. Yeah. It's win or die at this point. Yep. I think that after the game against Augusta, I think the Sand Sharks are going to play their game and win. And then Saturday, they're going to take their selves to Cochran, Georgia, and then they're going to beat Middle Georgia, and I think that they're going to be on the right
I
plane.
can't believe how many conference games there are before Christmas.
It's crazy,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
Well,
a
we
lot
keep
of
adding
games.
teams, so that keeps
Right.
adding 2 more
Hey,
games to the
yeah.
conference schedule.
And it's gonna be a great men's game because that Augusta team is no slouch either. They just came off an 84-55 win on
Look,
Saturday.
Everybody's
Georgia
good enough to beat you in
Southwestern.
this league. There ain't
Yeah.
nobody that can't
Well,
beat you.
you know, we mentioned Georgia Southwestern was receiving votes for the top 25 for Division II, and they got absolutely mollywopped by this Augusta team. So it's going to be a really good game between these
Dip,
two teams on Wednesday.
We might not like him much, but Dip knows how to coach. That man's won a lot of basketball games. He knows what he's
lot
doing.
of basketball games. Ton.
That's
And
for sure.
he's got a method, a way he goes about it that we may not
Yeah, I
agree
think-
with, but he wins a lot of basketball games. All
Absolutely.
right, Trip. Well, we appreciate you, man. What's
Absolutely.
you got one more
Yeah,
thing?
of course. If you're watching, come out Wednesday and come watch USCB men's and women's
Oh, yeah.
basketball.
Yeah,
And I heard they're doing something with Finnegan, a little charity. So come out and
All right.
support.
okay.
Love to have you in the Cove. And then Fins up, absolutely.
All right, buddy. We appreciate
thanks,
you, and
buddy.
we'll see you
Thank you for
Wednesday at
having
the
me.
Cove, and we'll get you back on here real soon.
Sounds good. Talk to y'all later.
Have a good
All
night,
take care,
man.
Good night.
That's Trip Richards. Good stuff. He's getting better and better. He was already
He's so
good
good.
from the jump,
Yeah.
but he's just getting better. He's
The
finding his rhythm.
USCB basketball analyst.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
man, he's terrific.
he's
Yeah.
their guy. So that's
Plus,
really-
he's got great color, like him having "You suck, go
That's
home"
what he's-
painted on himself at the game.
Go home.
That's great.
Legendary.
That's good.
All right, boys. Shout out to some more sponsors. Hudson Seafood House on the Docks presents Under the Bus. You can catch a new episode planned for tomorrow. I got to touch base with Wes. Make sure he's going to be able to handle it. If not, we're going to have to talk to the boys about rescheduling. But Under the Bus, presented by Hudson Seafood House on the Docks. Great place for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island. We've also got HHI Windows and Doors, improving your view of the Lowcountry. Coach Richard Barron from Hilton Head Prep hung up his whistle. He's focused on a new kind of screens now, improving your view at HHI Windows and Doors. And we've also got, of course, Twenge and Twombly, personal injury attorneys. They've got a rare name, but they provide remarkable service over in Beaufort. Twenge and Twombly, personal injury attorneys. So, all right, talking a little high school, boys. We'll give it a good 15 minutes here, and then we'll get into our parting thoughts and call it a night. But had some hoops on tap the last few weeks. I know, Marcus, you got out and saw a little bit. Some kind of high profile games on Friday. JP2 boys giving Bluffton quite a fight, but Bluffton held them off by 3. Bluffton then lost by 2 to Christchurch in overtime on Saturday. So that was a good test for them, and they showed pretty well.
Right.
And then JP2 girls kept rolling. HHCA girls knocked off Hilton Head Prep, and the Hilton Head Prep boys knocked off HHCA on Friday, so by 10. So that game was more competitive than it was last year. That was good to see.
Well,
But
I
what did you get out and see, Mark?
I will say this, and I had planned to see May River in action on Saturday. Couldn't do it. I've also, rescheduled some stuff because I'm heading out of town on Thursday and just need to kind of get things going a little bit in terms of that. But I did see about a little over 3/4 of the Hilton Head Prep May River game on Wednesday. May River looks awesome. Certainly talking to guys.
The boys are running a system, and they're running.
Man.
And
They are.
To see or to just hear you say about what Hilton Head Prep was able to do the other night against HHCA is encouraging because May River just put the Blitzkrieg bop on Hilton Head Prep the other night.
Yeah.
they really did.
It was a tough showing for the Dolphins, but obviously still a long way to go. We are, as long as Kevin and a couple other guys are okay, I think we've kind of finalized our schedule for our WHHI season. So I'll have that official here very soon. Looking forward to getting into more gyms when I get back from the Buckeye State. Here's my question, and I actually put it on the chat earlier today on the app. Do we know about scheduling for these tournaments that are going to be happening around Christmas yet?
So
I don't yet.
I
no.
know the days for the Battery Creek Classic tournament.
Yeah, I know the
that they
days,
are-
but I don't know who's
I
playing.
don't know the
them
schedule yet. I'm waiting to hear from Javon Livingston because he will be covering the entire
Right.
Battery
He'll be-
Creek Classic on.
He'll be at the
Big
Battery
Stone.
Creek tournament for
And-
sure.
Yeah.
My
myself
plan
and Javon
is my plan, if I can handle it, is to hit up the majority of the Holiday Classic at Hilton Head and the Bluffton Classic.
I do know.
which are
Did
local.
they do the
do
Holiday
know
Classic last
Bluffton-
year, Wes?
You heard anything about that Holiday Classic still being on? I mean, I assume so, but you just never know.
According to Bluffton's schedule, it's still on.
Which
Yeah,
one?
I've
The
seen
Hilton Head
I've
tournament?
seen that
Bluffton
all
one is,
three of
for
them
sure.
are going to be played on Max
The
Preps.
Hilton Head one is.
And
Yes.
I believe Bluffton is also one of the teams at the Battery Creek Classic this year.
Okay. And is the
as
Bobcat
well
Classic
as-
going as well the week before New Year's?
Yeah, that'll be
I
that.
believe both.
As far as I know, the Bobcat Classic is like the 29th through the 31st of
And I
December, so a
believe-
couple of days after.
If I'm not
It was a
mistaken,
year
I think
ago.
another one of those teams in the Battery Creek Classic may be either Hilton Head or May River.
Well, I
in
have
that
May
tournament
River
as
and
well.
Whale Branch in it for sure.
I think that's what I saw too.
I think Hilton Head has their own tournament.
They do have their own
Yeah.
tournament.
This,
The
yeah,
Holiday-
the
They
that
Seahawks
same
Holiday
year.
Classic.
And they bring in some teams from around
Right.
either the
Yeah.
area or
And I
the
think
state,
assume they're
too.
still doing
It
that.
says to be announced. Bluffton Christmas tournament will be the 29th through New Year's Eve, the 31st.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it
that's
sounds
what
like
I've
nothing
seen.
much has changed.
That's
And
what
I
I've
do know
seen,
that
yeah.
that Battery Creek Classic will be I believe the 19th and 20th
The 20.
Uh,
that's right.
of that Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday
19th and 20th.
before,
Maybe
obviously
even, I think it's actually 18, 19, 20. And you're right. Bluffton is in it. They're playing First Presby. Yeah, I've got a couple of
Yeah, that's
games.
the week
Bluffton,
before
First
the
Presby,
20th.
and May River Whale Branch are at least scheduled, according to Max Preps, for
Yeah.
that tournament.
so-
So I've got a few of those in the calendar document, the ones that I've been able to track down.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And
yeah,
so
looking forward to
Holiday
holiday
hoops.
tournaments definitely.
that's
But
gonna be a great tournament though, over at Battery Creek.
here's one to watch. Colleton girls won again tonight, 49-29 over Baptist Hill. That's 3 straight
Ooh.
for them
There it is.
because
Wow.
they beat Stratford by 9 on Friday,
Did they?
and then they
Very
beat Gilbert
solid.
by 6 on Saturday.
That is impressive stuff.
They're kind of rolling. Yeah,
Wow.
they're kinda rolling.
The Cougars.
Stratford and Gilbert. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Those are no
Solid
easy-
wins. Yeah.
Those are
JP2
really
girls
solid wins.
routed Bluffton 56 to
I'm
21.
quite impressed.
Yeah, that
Richmond
JP2
Hill
girls
routed
team is
Hilton
no joke.
Head. Whale Branch blew out Battery Creek. Bridges Prep blew out Hardyville. A lot of kind of boring games.
What
in
about
there.
what about the cross girls team?
Yeah, they haven't played much yet.
Really.
I was
Their
wondering
schedules-
about that because I haven't heard enough about them. And last I heard, did they play JP2? I think
They did. They lost to JP2 by 2. They've only played 5 games. They
Interesting.
beat varsity opponent bad. They beat Calvary Day
Varsity.
bad. They beat Charleston Collegiate bad. They lost to JP2 by 2, and they murdered Savannah Jaguars. And then they were playing Hilton Head Prep tonight.
Ooh,
So we'll
dang,
see how that
good
one
luck.
goes.
Yeah, I thought so because I saw Crossbusters heading over to Hilton Head, so I was wondering who they were playing.
There you
tonight.
go. That's it.
So-
I
right.
don't know if the
Yeah.
boys were playing. I think they were. The boys
Oh,
could
the-
be interesting. The,
Well, I
the
was
cross
about to
boys
ask.
are
Yeah,
off
they
to
are.
a pretty good start.
I was about to ask about the boys team, wondering where they were
They're
sitting right
they're
now.
5-2. Now they've played
pretty
some
good.
odd schools as well. Statesboro Steam Academy, the Haberson School, which is a loss. Charleston Collegiate a loss. Faith Christian, Palmetto Scholars, Savannah Jaguars, and Savannah Classical. And they played.
Yeah, that's some
tonight, so.
interesting teams right
Hilton Head
there.
Prep,
Wow.
well, they got Hilton Head Prep tonight and Hilton Head Christian on Thursday. So
We'll
that's,
see more. Yeah, we'll know more when they play those.
If they beat one or both of them, then we're gonna have
Then
to
we'll
start
talk.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for real. Doc will have something cooking if that happens. I know he's got a really good player over there, Trent. I can never remember Trent's last name, but he's lighting it up.
Yeah, I watched them play Bridges last year.
Trent
And honestly, Bridges
Luckfield,
outmatched them,
Luckfeld. He's averaging 18.1, and Zach
Nice.
McCastro is putting up 13.3.
Pretty good.
So they got something going on over there.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Good
then
stuff.
JP2 girls are rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
May River boys are blasting everybody. They haven't played
Yeah.
anybody on their level yet, but they're killing everybody. And they got a freshman team over there, boys.
Oh,
They got a
Yes,
varsity,
right.
JV, and freshman team. He is building it up.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
He's
that's
putting in a
crazy.
system. So they're
Yeah,
going to be
that's the system.
interesting. They're kind of like public prep right now, as far as with prep running a system the last couple of years. They're kind of looking a little bit like that. So they got the guys. They're developing shooters over there, and they know how they want to play. I think they're going to give some probably more talented teams a lot of fits, just because they play such good fundamental ball and team concepts. So I think Bluffton's got more talent than them, but I think May River's going to be a problem for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, on the girls' side of things, and
It's rough.
if this ends up coming to fruition, that we do a Bluffton Beaufort game at Beaufort, I can't wait to see what those Beaufort girls look like this year.
Yeah, they look awfully good. They've had
From
some
what I've heard,
some
they
nice
look
wins.
awfully good.
That win over Ashley Ridge was big time, and they did that without Amira, which is even more
Wow.
impressive. Yeah.
Okay.
So they look like they could be pretty good. How deep they can go in the playoffs, I don't know, but it looks like they'll be the team to run things around here. From the public school side. Although Hampton, don't sleep on Hampton girls either. They're awfully
I was
good.
really impressed with what Hampton did last year in the Bobcat Classic, and both girls and guys.
I think we probably give it another week
What good.
and change, and then we get into power rankings, maybe going into the tournaments, and then power rankings coming out of the tournaments.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right, doesn't it? So that gets you a little caught up on hoops. Some big games coming up tomorrow. Porter Gowd coming to Bluffton. That's a pretty good guys game, especially. Beaufort at Battery Creek. They'll do it again. They're at Battery Creek this time. They're at Beaufort on Friday. May River at JP2. That boys game is very intriguing. Whale Branch at Ridgeland. Fair fight. Good rivalry. Savannah Christian at Hardyville. And then looks like Holy Trinity boys also have Meadow Scholars at home, and Hilton Head travels to Benedictine on the boys' side. And then Wednesday, of course, Augusta USCB in the Cove. We got Beaufort at Goose Creek, Battery Creek at Hilton Head. That boys' game would be fun. Colleton County at Stall, and Hardyville at Savannah Christian. So that's the stuff we'll be keeping tabs on the next couple of days. And
I may have to amend my plans, which had been amended. I may have to get to that
May River
Battery Creek
JP2?
Hilton Head. I may have to
Battery
get to that Battery Creek Hilton Head doubleheader on Wednesday.
All right, that sounds like
That
a
could be
plan.
interesting. Battery Creek's been playing some real good.
Guys look good. Guys
Yeah,
look
guys
good.
look
That'll
good.
be a good matchup.
Yep.
Be a good
Yeah.
test for them.
It should be a good matchup,
Um,
especially going
yeah.
into that BC Classic, because they're going to play some good teams in that BC Classic as
Oh, yeah.
well.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And so I like that Battery Creek team. I watched their game on Beaufort's Own against Whale Branch. What was it, last week? I think it was, and it was
They
played-
smoked them the first meeting, but then the second was only like six points. So I don't
Yeah.
know what that means. I don't
Well,
know if Whale
I
Branch pulled
think-
it together a little bit more
Yeah,
or what.
maybe Whale Branch has figured out a couple things.
They're going
Maybe-
to. Faber's not going to just not figure it out. You know, what I
Yeah,
mean, they're
right.
going to get better. They're going to get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But I like how that Battery Creek team's been playing. They had a good start last year too, and then they hit the roadblock of their region play, which has always been an absolute gauntlet when it comes to men's basketball, especially when you have three teams ranked in the top 10 for 3A basketball. So
Yeah, they've got something. They've definitely got some good targets to shoot for, and they're aiming for being a team that can beat those kinds of teams consistently. So, hoop season heating up. Check it out. Let us know what you're hearing out there, and check out the 1L Hoops Happy Hour on Sundays for a little more free flowing talk.
Can I just say though, it is so good to see Harry Skinner in a Bluffton uniform again.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's so good to see him in a Bluffton
That,
uniform.
I mean, that just makes this season a lot more fun than it would have been without him.
Right.
Yeah, right.
He's one of the most fun players in the area to watch, so you can't.
And
complain about it.
I watched some film of him from the other day. He's really honed in on his skills, and he is, I think, a lot better than he was last year, which is really
That's
saying
scary.
something,
Yeah,
That's
it
scary.
is. It is.
No.
They can keep him healthy and out of foul trouble. He's gonna carry him to a lot of wins.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little wrestling. If you want more wrestling, you can check out last night's Lowco Grind. Myself, George Dixon, and Ashley Powell, the state champion coach of May River, talking about all the wrestling going on in the Lowco. We had the Lowcountry Championships over the weekend. Middle schools on Friday night. Bluffton Middle had an army of children Wrestling, and they took the title. Hilton Head took the middle school girls title. It was much closer. They barely edged McCracken. And then the JV, of course, went to May River. They tripled up nearly the
Wow.
next team. He had unlimited entries in the JV, so they had a army of people, of course, as well. My son getting a championship on the JV circuit.
Yeah.
Excited about that. Went 2-0 on Saturday. And then, of course, the JV or the varsity, Hilton Head takes the girls' title by a pretty good margin over Battery Creek. They've got a good number of girls at Hilton Head. They got a dedicated girls coach, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
And they had quite a few champs: Jordan Mutry, Lizeth Diaz Morales, and Annie Mariano, all winning titles for Hilton Head. Battery Creek also had a good day, and our Hardyville girls came in fourth, just 2
Yeah.
points behind
Nice.
May River.
Back.
Just 4 girls, so pretty
Wow.
psyched about that.
That's impressive.
Shout out to my girl
Like that.
Scarlett Ramos for a big breakthrough
Yeah.
weekend. And then on the guys' side, May River running away with it, almost doubled up Buford for the team title. Buford edging Hilton Head. So that gives you a little bit of a look at kind of what the pecking order
Where
might look
that's
like.
gone, yeah.
Buford Bluffton did not bring their varsity. They went to a different event. So that kind of throws a
Interesting.
little bit of a kink in there. But May River, a bunch of champs. Stefano Calderon at 106, Miles DeGraff and Reed at 113, Bryce Butler at 120, Marcus Folk at 132, Thomas Bro at 150, Blake Butler at 157, Henry Santee at 190, and that was it. And then the other champs would be Bryce Stevenson from Hilton Head at 126, Gavin Bennett from Buford at 144, Cole Sowers from Hilton Head. Bennett at 138, Sowers at 144. Amarion Wilson from Bamberg at 165, one of the few Bamberg wrestlers who wasn't busy this weekend. They won a state title. Kevin Summers, Bridges Prep at 175. Colton Freeman and Jaden Priester from Buford 215 and heavy, and they're going to do that a lot this year because those two guys are beasts and they push each other in that room. They are unreal.
Marcus seems puzzled.
Marcus,
You said
Yeah, you know those
Amarian
names.
Wilson.
Omarion Wilson. From Bamberg
Marion
Earhart.
Wilson. I heard
Wilson.
Marion.
Not that
And-
Marion from
Yeah,
Bridges
that
Prep
I
basketball.
heard
No.
and I'm like, we talking about the same dude?
But no,
It's gonna be
Colton
like,
Freeman and Jaden
I could've
Priester. I
sworn
thought
he
that's
was a
what you
senior.
meant.
no,
Like,
no,
I
no.
know them from football. Yeah, you
Marion.
do.
Not
You're all chestnut
Marion.
fellows.
Got it.
Okay. Sure.
But yeah, Sharks looking real good. Buford looks strong. Hilton Head's always going to be tough. Battery Creek's looking good as well. Bridges Prep right on their tail. Whale Branch had a good day.
All right.
It's all up on the Loco wrestling scene,
Yeah.
and the girls are really growing in numbers. So it's exciting stuff.
Yeah,
And,
definitely need to watch out for that Hilton Head girls wrestling team because I feel like they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
they're gonna make some noise.
Well, they
especially-
didn't. Their baddest girl didn't even wrestle. Michaela Henchy. She could have destroyed everybody. She's
Yeah.
phenomenal. But yeah, it was good day for wrestling. Good weekend for wrestling. Friday and Saturday in the Loco. Great to see the traveling circus back on the road. We'll go see everybody in a different gym every weekend. It's good times. But Kane's going on the road tomorrow to Burke to wrestle Burke and Portergout and maybe Whale Branch. And then we're going to Edisto on Saturday for the Cougar duels. So we'll be wrestling a bunch of
Interesting.
duels against 1A and 2A schools up there.
Sweet.
So, good stuff. Building the wrestling
Yeah,
program.
good stuff.
All right, dudes. Final sponsors. We got Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. And why am I blanking on my other one? Help me out here, boys. Blanket. Oh, Reverence Wrestling Club. Of course, I just talked about all that
I was
wrestling.
about to say,
Reverence
like,
Wrestling Club.
you
our
really
official
forgetting that
wrestling
one.
sponsor, presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind. And for all you wrestlers out there, open mat Sunday, 11 to 12:30. Drop in $15. Great opportunity.
I remember you
mat
got to
time.
show me behind what happens behind the curtain over there. Reverend
Yeah.
Wrestling. You do a good job getting those kids prepared and just improving their skills out there. Great group of coaches.
Impressive.
For those of you who don't know where Reverence Wrestling Club is, if you know where the Bluffton Planet Fitness is, it's right next to that,
Right next
out
door.
just off of Burnt Church Road in Bluffton. So go.
I
go-
mean,
definitely go check it out.
world-class wrestling facility. And
It is a
you
great
just have to go
facility.
up the road to get there.
It
So
really is.
check it out.
Yep.
All right, boys, parting thoughts. J.O., you've been quiet. Give me some parting thoughts. Come on. Bring me something.
Okay, I've been thinking about this for a while. 'Cause I'm usually never ready when we do parting thoughts. My parting thought is I am super proud of the USCB women's team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
2-1
100%.
Peach Belt, which was not on my bingo card, but
Right.
I'm super proud of them. Kanaya Bowman looks phenomenal. Lydia Gatosi looks like she's having a uh, phenomenal season coming off of an ACL tear. Janiyah Hayward looks good. I think they're putting the pieces together, and I like where they're headed. And I can actually say I'm optimistic about actually being proud of both men's and women's USCB teams this year. So.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
I just have a question real quick. A little bit of kind of recency bias is certainly for me because I covered her a bunch in high school and saw a couple of huge records. But how's Courtney doing at
She's doing
USCB?
good.
Yeah,
Good.
she's playing limited minutes. She's
Yeah.
But she seems to fit. She's fitting into that college level really well, though.
That's what I was hearing.
I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
the reality is she and Bowman are playing the same position, and Bowman's their best player right now.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
She's not being asked to do a lot. She knows what her role is. She needs to go in there and run the offense and control the tempo smartly when Bowman needs a breather
And
or
she's
if Bowman
doing a
gets
great
in foul
job.
trouble. And
She's
she
doing a
handles
great
it well.
job of that. Yeah, she
She's
does
not
it
the
well.
same player Tanaya is right now, but neither was Tanaya 2 years ago. So, she's. You look at the box score and you go, well, she only played 4 minutes and blah blah blah, but they're important minutes because
Right.
of the role she's playing when she's out there and who
And plus-
she's spelling when she's out there. She has a lot of, a lot on her shoulders when she's out there for a few
And plus,
minutes. So
Courtney's
I think she's handling it great.
learning. Courtney's learning from Tanaya Bowman too. She's learning what she needs to do at the college level from Tanaya, which is a great person to learn how to play this game of basketball from.
Absolutely.
So I think wait a couple of seasons, and we'll be talking a lot more about what Courtney Campbell can do on the
Yeah,
court.
and she's got to get bigger and stronger. And ooh, Wes got loud all of a sudden.
It's Wes. Yeah.
She's got to let things come to her,
Yep.
But I think she's getting there. Let's see if Wes is better now. Wes, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah. Well, it may be cold outside, but it's always warm enough on the hot stove to talk some baseball.
Okay.
More specifically, the Hall of Fame welcomes Jeff Kent to Cooperstown. He was the only one picked. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, both denied.
Shock.
Yeah.
Real shock.
There, there's some reasons to why those two were. I'm sure you're well aware of those two were not selected, but there's certainly still some backlash from others knowing that.
We know what's going to happen though. We know it's going to be when those two die, then they're going to put them in the Hall of Fame like they did with Pete Rose.
Yeah.
If they do that,
But on a brighter note, there's some fun, exciting names that should be a good chance to be elected next year, including Buster Posey, one of the best catchers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols, Ichiro Suzuki, and Carlos Beltran, who I think got close to the mark that you need. I think it's 75% or something that you need to get the nod to.
Wait, Ichiro's not. I thought Ichiro already.
Ichiro was in this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He
All right.
went in with
Yeah, he already
CC
went
and
Okay,
all
yeah,
that.
he was already in.
No, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I thought I remembered his speech.
He was
Yeah,
the last
he
one to
was.
give a speech,
Would our
Yeah.
pool
and he
host
did it
be
in
considered-
English.
Yeah, he did.
Would our pool
Wrestler.
host be considered as one of the players who could potentially be voted in unanimously?
Yeah, I mean, he
think so.
won't be because nobody. There's
There's
always
always
some
that
clown.
one
There's always
person.
some clown, but he should
Yeah.
be.
I
there's
think he should.
No
be.
reasonable person doesn't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So
But
Thought I'd ask.
yeah, I think Buster Posey seems like he's a lock. Obviously, won a couple
Yeah.
of championships and one of the best at his position in a long time. So.
Yeah, I mean,
And
there's a
then,
whole
Albert
rule for
Pujols
him.
as well,
made
you know,
name
I
for
think-
him now too.
Pujols was such a great fan favorite.
Oh yeah.
Everyone loved him. It seemed.
Dude was a
even
beast.
when,
I mean, I hated him, but I still loved him. I mean, he was a Cardinal.
well, yeah,
Right.
You
fair
know,
enough.
like I liked him. I wish he didn't play for the Cardinals.
I think
And he
anybody
didn't.
would have wished he didn't
That
play
was
for the
great.
Cardinals
Yeah,
or for
then
the
he didn't,
Angels,
and that was
for that
great.
matter.
He wasn't
But-
very good after he went there,
Yeah.
but he was amazing in St. Louis.
Yeah.
All right, Max, what do you got, buddy? I'm just going around
obviously,
the horn.
Yeah, obviously, the College Football Playoff Committee has made their choices on who is
Yep.
going to be playing for the 12-team playoff, and of course the first team out, which has sparked a whole controversy this past 48 hours or so, or 24 hours. I guess it was 24 hours ago that they made their decision, or just over. And of course, Notre Dame's out. Notre Dame does what they do best and decides to be petty about not making it.
They're not happy about being in the ACC. Like the ACC has not, something like they've made a big dent in terms. That's what the athletic director said. He was steaming against the ACC.
Now that whole situation's gone absolutely haywire, and I get, like, I see both sides. Like, I see that Notre Dame's being a little petty about saying well, we're not going to go to a bowl game then, and then the other side, you can see how frustrated they are because they thought that they would be in the college football playoffs and not having Miami leapfrog them.
And then the ACC made like a tweet comparing Miami, who got Team A versus Team B. It's a little shady.
Well, especially when Notre Dame has 24 other sports that they compete in the ACC.
Right.
It's a ridiculous situation, but and the funniest thing is, and I don't understand this, but Notre Dame isn't the only team this year that has declined to play a
There are
bowl
like
game.
8 of them.
There's like 7 or 8 teams.
What is going on?
There's a
They're not
bunch.
going to play a bowl game.
Here's what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on right now. There was always only one good thing about going to a bowl game, and that was you got to practice for another month. But what's the point of practicing for another month when half
our bowl games on
half these guys going out the door
support,
January 1st?
Are they on their way out? Like, I mean, at this point,
I think they're
excited about playing a bowl game, but if all these teams are declining,
there's only one JUCO bowl game left.
FCS playoff system where you have like 24 teams.
Well, really?
That's what's going to have to happen because the jig is up. The bowl games, whatever they've been, whatever scam they've been running to launder their money or whatever these things have been doing, the jig is up. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore. And because again, like, you can practice for another month for your bowl game, but half those guys are leaving at the end of the semester, going somewhere else. Why are you going to train them? Like, you're much better served to get in to start trying to flip recruits.
Now you'll
get that transfer portal.
You'll still have the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl as like the quarterfinal and the semifinal games.
See, I don't get.
Maybe.
I don't like that.
I think that needs to go away.
Get rid of the Rose Bowl. That's the iconic staple of sports history. You can't get rid of those.
I would take those bowl games, take them out of the college football playoffs, make the college football playoff its own thing, and then have those the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, all those big bowl games for other teams to compete.
Well, then that loses the luster of them.
They won't be able to.
Yeah, but I still don't.
For the advertising.
Either way, it doesn't work because this is it is now a dying era. Because of this, all of that.
I think the bowl games have to die for college football's sins. I just think they have to.
I agree. I hate to see it because there's so many great bowl games.
But, I mean, you talk about popular culture and all, like obviously the Pop-Tarts Bowl was such an internet meme.
I do love the
There are others
Bowl.
that have their own like cool.
That's the game that Notre Dame could have been in.
By the way,
they could have been in the. They turned down the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
They turned down the Pop-Tarts
That's
Bowl.
the one bowl worth playing in because you might get to eat that big Pop-Tart.
Here's the other thing, by the way.
Wow.
So Georgia Southern, is not that far away from us. Georgia Southern, they're going to be playing in a bowl game. Guess who they're playing against? App State. That's a conference opponent that you're going to be playing a bowl game. That's as bad as saying, they're playing a conference championship game, but it's not really a conference championship game. It's just you're winning a bowl game. But here's the thing. Six schools declined to play Georgia Southern, including Florida State, which was one of those schools, and a bunch of other schools. All declined.
They're going to ask like 5-win teams to play in bowl games now. Because all these other
these 5-win teams turning it down.
Mississippi State's 5-7. They're in a game.
So they basically what they did is they went down the list.
TCU
Every school decided to decline the bowl game, so they got down to like the last possible team on the list.
It was especially bad. They ran out of conference tie-ins. Some of them.
There's no more bowl.
Conference team would accept. It was bowl eligible.
In terms of 6 wins, and now
it's a nightmare.
I'm actually
scrum them
shocked
all.
Florida State even got to a bowl game this year, which is crazy to think about.
Well, that just
I-
shows you how easy it is.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, really, seriously,
You can schedule yourself to a bowl game if you want.
It's
to.
frustrating.
Like,
And now everybody's talking about let's move it to 16 teams for the playoffs, which should have been what
They
it was
should.
to begin with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
even 24. I don't care.
Well, I just think
Back it
that
up.
I just
Eventually,
feel
you're gonna have
bad for Duke
65
because
teams
you
into the
win
playoffs.
you
It's
win
just
you win your
serious.
conference championship. I mean,
Yeah, but
I
in
don't
any
care
other
if
year,
the
they wouldn't have
it
even
is
been
it
in
is
it.
challenging to win the ACC. But that's I mean, yeah, it might be down this year, but still, I mean, they were a solid team and they deserved a chance. If you have those
Dude, Duke?
other conferences, I mean, I know they're the worst.
Well, they
in terms of-
didn't deserve a chance in the current format, but what he's saying is the format should allow for
Well, the
anyone
format
who
is
wins
flawed.
their
If
conference
you're
to get in.
allowing every conference but one to get it in terms of the conference champion,
And I think
Right.
that's one of the benefits.
Why are we doing that?
I think that would be
one.
one of the benefits for the college football playoffs to move to 16 teams so that you're not worrying about
Right.
what team,
Should
what
be
last
another big for every
conference
conference.
team gets
Yeah.
in. Because it got to the point where, Duke kind of screwed everything up, opened up a can of worms, and here you are. Here's James Madison in
Right.
as a
Yeah,
20
Virginia
and a
won
half
to
point
host it all
underdog
up.
over in. Huh?
If Virginia just won, then they would have been
Well,
in. and
Virginia would have been
Miami
in
would have
because
we
been
wouldn't
out.
be
it would
worried
top
about
five.
that.
And James Madison would have been
Yankee
out. Notre Dame would have been in, and it would have been.
We
fine.
wouldn't have to worry
But
about this.
Virginia blew
But
it.
can we also because obviously now they're saying conference championships really don't matter unless it's a blowout, which was the case for BYU, which is why they got
But
kicked
the
out.
blowout doesn't matter if it's Alabama.
Alabama's still able to.
Here's my thing though. If
Yeah.
Alabama said, let's say Alabama would have lost 42-10, at that point, if you're the college football playoff committee, you kind of have to take them out, right? Or would they
Well,
just not
here's-
I
do
don't
that?
know. They
Here's my
seem
thing.
to say that they
No, no,
weren't
no,
going to put
but-
them in
but
double
here's the thing,
jeopardy
though.
for making it.
But here's the thing: you would have gotten blown out by Georgia, and then you lost to Florida State to begin the year. And Florida State's was not that good of a team to begin with.
That's
You
a bad
still
loss
And-
for them. That's a bad loss. For
Why did they not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I don't
probably
know.
Well,
shouldn't
do
have
they
been.
even consider if you get your third loss in the conference championship game, that doesn't matter compared to
It doesn't matter apparently,
right? That's what
unless
happened
you're
last-
Alabama.
Unless you're
Alabama,
BYU.
it doesn't
unless you're
matter.
BYU
If
because
you're BYU, it matters.
Well, BYU
28-7 and
here's-
and that was not a
42-10.
competitive game.
Yeah,
They
but
turned
here's the
over,
difference,
every
though.
drive.
BYU
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Here's the difference, though. BYU got blown out by Texas Tech twice this year. That's
did.
why they got moved out. That's why.
Yeah,
they got
but at
moved
the
out.
same time, what did this most recent result tell us that we didn't already know about those two teams that should have already been baked
we
in?
knew where
Of
that
course,
game-
they beat them
we knew where
again.
that
We already
game
know
was
they're
gonna
better
go.
than them.
We knew where that game was going to go.
Yeah.
Texas Tech was just a better team on both sides of the ball than BYU was.
Well,
We
look,
already
the-
knew that.
I think we're kind of missing the bigger point here, which is that the conference championship system is broken. Like
I
it doesn't
think
work
you take it out.
with
I think
with
you
these
take it out completely.
Not anymore, it
It's
doesn't.
just-
with these unbalanced schedules. and
right.
these
I mean, you
massive
play 8-game
conferences,
schedules. You only play all the
tiebreakers are
teams,
deciding
and
who
you get
gets
the top
into
two.
it.
I mean,
Well,
it's so
the
completely
ACC
random.
this year. I mean, seriously, we should all have said, yeah, Miami should have been in the ACC championship game to begin with.
Yes.
But with tiebreakers and everything, a 7-5 Duke team got in instead. And
Right,
yes,
so that's
granted,
what I was saying
Those were
earlier.
too
Is
big.
I look
any
give
other
props
year,
to
Duke wouldn't have even been in that game.
No,
They wouldn't have been in
no.
that championship game. They got in
But
on time.
granted,
I mean, it
granted,
makes
I
sense
give
when
Duke
you had-
props for getting that
when
win.
you played
I give
everyone in
Duke
your
props for
division,
that.
and then whoever the two division winners
I liked that.
playing the championship game.
That
Like
was-
you
that
play
made
every
sense.
every team.
That
in your
does make
division,
sense.
and those two
Yep.
division winners play each other. I mean, and
Which was
that's a fair
what
way
the
to do it.
ACC was to begin with.
Yeah,
That was
Right.
what it was before they moved.
Bunch of
They
them.
changed everything. It
They
was
gotta
two
fix it.
divisions.
They
You know,
gotta fix
you
it.
had Clemson, Florida State in one division. You had Georgia Tech, Duke in another division. You know, like
But one
they
thing
had
you can
two
bet
divisions.
on, one thing you can bet on with college football is we're going to see change next year. So
Oh, you better-
everything we're fussing
It
about is
better
all
be them
going to
moving
change.
it.
It's gonna be a
It better
different
be a
system next year.
16-team playoff that they discuss going
It-
into the
I
offseason.
think it will be.
They
I think
have
it will
to. They absolutely have to.
There's too many people with access to grind at this point for somebody to not make that happen. Marcus, what do you got, buddy?
I've been, pondering over a couple of things for sure, and I'm going to just mention the one that brings me the most joy. Obviously, been doing a lot of singing over the last week, multiple rehearsals, 4 concerts in the span of a little over a week. And I go back to my interview, and I may have even mentioned it on the show. I can't remember. I go back to my interview that I had with Kyle Bennett when I interviewed both
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Bennett and Terry Kicks when they both took the jobs at May River. And I go back to my interview specifically with Kyle, and he said that a friend of his that he taught with in Kentucky who had come to May River told him about this job, this basketball job, and that he would be great for it from the north and whatnot. And obviously, Justin, you know Midwestern Northern basketball. I do. A bunch of us from that area certainly do. And he's been great, and Terry Kicks has been great. I can't remember if I mentioned this just recently on the show or whom I was talking to, but I know who that friend is
Mm-hmm.
of Kyle Bennett's, and it is one that I know and have known for, gosh, I would say a year and a half to 2 years now, and know her quite well. She's the accompanist of the Hilton Head Choral Society. She sings in the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra Chorus. She teaches math at May River, and she also keeps the scorebook. And I saw her on Wednesday for basketball season from time to time. Carrie Kearns is a tremendous human being. I just was talking and have been talking over the last couple of months about obviously singing for Dustin Owsley and just what he brings to this area in terms of being who he is, you know, as a choir director, as a coach of volleyball, just the human element, which is what this world, the positive human element, which is what this world needs a lot more of. And Carrie Kearns is right with him, and she just brings such a light. So shout out to her. She is just a tremendous light to be around, and I've only known her again for a year and a half, 2 years ish. She's been absolutely phenomenal, and she has been so kind to so many, including myself. And I mean, I enjoy talking music with her for sure, and I enjoy talking sports with her. And she has taught a lot of these kids that we talk about that are on the football field, on the baseball field, on the basketball court, and she absolutely loves it. She loves these kids. She loves her job. She loves being in this area doing what she does for the arts and humanities and teaching. And I just wanted to shout her out because she's been a great light to this area for sure, and to Samantha and I for sure as well.
All right.
Carrie, you rock.
I met Carrie the night that they did the little open house thing and announced Coach Bennett. I was able to get over there and I saw them talking and kind of got in on the conversation and learned that she had put it on his radar. Hey, you might want to come down here and check this out. And had a great talk with him that night and have been super impressed to see the work he's done in these first couple of years to get that program up and running. That dude grinds. I mean,
does he ever?
Absolutely.
And so does she.
Sicko. He loves basketball. A little bit too much, but we're grateful for it. You know, he's just a little bit off with it, and I love that about him. He's a nut for basketball, and they're lucky to have him at May River. He's building the program up over there. All right, parting thoughts. I got a call today and was told to mark a day on our calendar, and he said July 25th. It's possible he misspoke and meant January, but I don't think so. I think he meant July after all the tours are done. Amari Patterson intends to make his verbal commitment. I think Marcus has frozen in the smiley face. Amari Patterson has plans to make his verbal commitment on July 25th. I was told this morning. I was also told that he's probably going back to Bluffton, which I had been hearing rumors about Benedictine, and those were laid to rest. I was told, we haven't even ever looked at Benedictine. So, and then I was told a lot of other people are looking to come to Bluffton, and I don't know what to make of that, but I'll leave you with that. The transfer portal is open. So we'll see what shakes out for next football season. But Amari looking to make his commitment this summer after he gets done with all the junior days and tours and all that stuff. So looking forward to that day. That'll be an exciting day. He's got a lot of offers to mull. Yeah, and we're always excited when kids go on to play at the next level. So I think that'll do it for tonight, boys. Great show. We got it in an hour 19. I can live with it.
Yep.
You know,
Listen,
Marcus is back after freezing in smiley face mode. What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I finished up with my parting thought. Amari Patterson planning to make his verbal commitment on July 25th, I'm told. So go ahead and mark your
Okay.
calendar for 7 months from now. Because we're going to be busy that day, apparently. Fat Man says, "You going to come?" And I was like, man, I have no clue what I'm doing that day. That's a long days off. I'll have to get back to you on that. But we'll have somebody there for sure when AP makes his commitment. So great show tonight, boys. Thanks to Trip Richards for jumping in and giving us his hoops report from USCB, hitting his stride. Thanks, J.O. I know you kind of sat in the corner, but you got your parting thought in this time. We're working up to it. Great to have you boys tonight. Always fun talking hoops and talking local sports with you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Hampton County for a hell of a
Great
football
run.
season.
Yeah.
Tremendous group of coaches and kids, and we couldn't be more prouder of you. More proud of you. Even though you came up a little short. We were inspired by your run, and we appreciate you for extending high school football season as long as we possibly could. So all good stuff. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and thanks to all of you who showed up to listen or watch. Tomorrow night, Under the Bus. Wednesday night, we do it again, boys?
I'm out.
No, Wednesday night we're
tomorrow.
busy.
I'm out
USCB.
tomorrow.
Oh, you're out tomorrow. All right, we'll figure it out. Thursday, I guess we'll be back for
Thursday.
perhaps.
Yeah, all right.
Sounds like that's the plan. So,
Yep.
all right. Until then,
see you guys
for
next week.
Marcus Walsh, Jeremy Orr, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj, and Trip Richards, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Loco.